Boston Celtics look like they have one of the best duos in the NBA this season. Meanwhile, the Lakers look like they're going to miss out on the playoffs yet again. Let's talk about it. The NBA season is underway, and yesterday we had two star-studded teams going against each other. The first game of the day was the Boston Celtics versus the Philadelphia 76ers, while the second game left a little to be desired with the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Golden State Warriors. From the first game with the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers, I could see that the Boston Celtics, they are still title contenders, and last year wasn't just a fluke. I want to start off just by congratulating the Boston Celtics defense. They came out the gate double teaming Joel Embiid every time he touched the ball, whether it was 5 feet away from the bucket, whether it was free throw line extended, whether he was out on the 3-point, a double team was being sent to Joel Embiid, and it was pretty effective throughout the entire game. But the only reason I think it was really effective is because Joel Embiid doesn't know how to handle the double team. Throughout that entire game, I was looking at the screen and I was saying, Embiid, either make one quick move, get to the basket, or pass the ball to the wide open teammate. But it seemed Joel Embiid wanted to stay at the top of the key, do a couple crossovers to try to get past his defender, and then lay the ball up. You saw that evident many times throughout the game. And he would make the right play to pass out of the double team when the double team came. He didn't try to score over two defenders. He wasn't trying to hold the ball entirely too long so it can be either a jump ball or a steal, but yet he still waited too long to make that pass. And what I mean by that is when you know a double team is coming, you should either be ready to make one quick move, get to the basket and shoot, or be able to make that pass before the second defender even gets close to you. And that wasn't the case with Joel Embiid. He would wait until two defenders was on him, and then he would try to make that pass, but by the time he made the pass, the defense already rotated. That's because they knew where the pass was going. He gave them time to see where the pass was going. And the Boston Celtics, with their great defensive mindset and their high basketball IQ, was able to capitalize every single time. And don't get me wrong, there were times where Joel Embiid made that one quick move or made that smart pass. That's how he ended up with 26 points. But it wasn't as consistent as it should have been. Now, other than Joel Embiid, I want to give a big shout out, the biggest shout out I can, to James Harden. He came back. He said over the offseason he lost 100 pounds. Now, I don't necessarily think that's true. I think he was just trolling. But he was putting in work this offseason, and it shows. Now, everybody's saying free throw Harden is back, which in that game it was pretty evident they were giving him some pretty iffy calls, pretty 50-50 calls that me personally, I would have hated if the call was called on me. But that's the NBA. You're going to get calls, and you're going to get calls called against you. So he came out, he did his thing. He had a crazy shot at the end of the shot clock with Jason Tatum defending him, and Marcus Smart came over and tried to swat it. Nothing but the bottom of the net. He made a couple people fall. Like it looked like vintage James Harden, and I don't know if we can expect to see that every game out of him. I mean, it's only a 1-game sample size, but it's arguably against the best team in the East. So with that 1-game sample size, I think we can take a lot away from what James Harden is going to do for the Philadelphia 76ers this season. Now, other than the two big stars on the team, they also had their role players step up and play pretty solid minutes. Two players that come to mind are Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris. Now, I'll start off with Tobias Harris. He's getting paid. He's getting his bag, so he has to play. He has to make the open shots. He has to lock down on defense. He's getting paid. I'm not pocket watching per se, but I feel like he's getting paid a little bit more than what he deserves. I mean, if they're going to give him the bag, let them give him a bag. But I feel like he's a bit overpaid. And in that game, he had 16 points, 2 rebounds, 0 assists. Now, 14 of his 16 points came in the first half, so I think they kind of went away from him a bit in the second half. He was 0 for 3 to start off with. He had an easy layup, I believe, to get him his 2 points in the second half. But I feel like they would expect a bit more from Tobias Harris, seeing how much they're paying him. And the second role player that I want to talk about is Tyrese Maxey. Now, don't call me a casual, but I didn't know Tyrese Maxey could hoop like that. I mean, mid-range, 3-point ball, pick and roll offense, and he's not a slouch on the defensive end as well. I feel like the Philadelphia 76ers has a really good young talent with him. And then if he can keep developing like this, I feel like he can be the one, or he can be the number two instead of it being James Harden and Joel Embiid. I feel like he can take a leap this season and seasons forward to be a premier player on a championship team. Now, this game was close all the way up until the third quarter. I'll be honest with you. All the way up until the third quarter, I think it was tied like 60. It was tied in the 60s somewhere. All the way up until the third quarter, and Jason Tatum, he just went on a run. But I'll talk about Jason Tatum a little bit later. We focused on the 76ers right now. It was close. In the third quarter, the Celtics kind of blew the lead up a little bit. And entering the fourth quarter, they had Joel Embiid in the game by himself. I believe the lineup was like Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. I think Tobias Harris was out there, and it was two other people I can't really remember. But James Harden was on the bench. So they was looking to Joel Embiid for the offense, and Joel Embiid just couldn't do much. Like I said, he had 26 points, but I believe like 6 or 8 of those points was in garbage minutes. Like they weren't even sending double teams to him anymore because they were so far ahead. They didn't care if he got a 2-pointer. They were just trying to protect the 3-point line. So I expected more of him in that fourth quarter when he was out on the floor. You know, he called for the ball. It wasn't like he was shying away from the ball. He called for the ball. He just couldn't do anything with it. And that's not really what you want to see from the best center in the league, somebody who is a 2-time runner-up for MVP. Like, I usually don't agree with the older guys like Shaq and Chuck and all of them because they so out of touch with. I feel like they're really out of touch with what's going on in the NBA. But Joel Embiid just didn't look great out there today, and I feel like he was saved a lot by James Harden and Tyrese Maxey because this game could have gotten ugly, even uglier than what it was. All right, let's move on now to the Boston Celtics. This is going to be quick because we're seeing what we saw in the second half of last season for the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, number 91 Blake Griffin. I mean, oh my goodness. The Boston Celtics, they're looking like a title contending team. They're looking like a championship team from the jump. They're not going to go, what did they go? What, 2 and they were the worst. They were damn near the worst team in the Eastern Conference last year around the halfway point. They're not going to do this. The whole situation with Ime Udoka, I don't feel like it's getting to them. I feel like they're just coming out there and they're trying to hoop. Now, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, both 35 points combined for 70 points in that game. Jason Tatum had an amazing third quarter. I mean, just shot after shot after shot. He was automatic, looking like Kobe out there. But hey, that's just what I saw. I feel like they have the potential to be the best duo in the NBA. You know, you have the LeBron and ADs, you have the Curry and Clays, you have the Zions and Brandon Ingrams, you know, the Zach Levines and DeMar DeRozans, like all those duos, the Jamal Murrays and Jokic's. I can't wait to see them play, being back on the court. But you have all these duos, and I feel like these two young guys, 24 and 26 years old, I feel like they're really coming into form as the best duo in the NBA. I really don't have much to say about them about that Celtics team. They look dominant. They looked as dominant as ever against a very good team, another title contending team, and they made them look like putty out there. So big ups to the Boston Celtics. I feel like they could be back in the finals. Um, yeah. Now moving on to the second game on our 2-game slate, we have the Los Angeles Lakers against the Golden State Warriors. Now this game, let me just say the first game was fun to watch. I was enjoying the hell out of that first game. But this game, not so much. And I'm not necessarily a fan. And I think that's why I didn't enjoy it so much. Because I'm not necessarily a fan of either team. I just wanted to see a good game. And that's not what we got. We got a good game for about 2.5 quarters. 2.5, 3 quarters, we got a good game. It was the championship ceremony for the Golden State Warriors. So honestly, I thought they were going to come out and be kind of slow, be kind of, still feeling themselves from winning the championship. And that's exactly what happened. But you would have thought the Lakers had won a championship too, how sluggish and slow they came out to play. LeBron James didn't get a shot up until the first 3 minutes of the game. And he didn't score until the first 5. He finished with 20 plus points, got some rebounds, got some assists. I think he had like 12 rebounds, a couple assists. But he shot 1 for 6, 1 for 5, or 1 from 6 from 3. Let me check. Oh, my bad. He ended up shooting 3 for 10. 30%. First of all, first of all, why is LeBron shooting 10 threes? I mean, I know why he's shooting 10 threes, and I was going to talk about that a little bit later, but why is LeBron shooting 10 threes? He's never been known to be a good three-point shooter. He's average, probably even a little below average when it comes to his three-point shoot. But when it comes to his three-point shot, so him shooting 3 for 10, and then as a team, they shot terrible from three. They shot terrible from three. As a team, they shot goodness. They shot 10 for 40. They shot 10 for 40 from three. That's 25%. Now, let me just break it down because I tried to watch the whole game, but I just couldn't. I turned it off like in the third quarter, beginning of the fourth. Now, from the beginning of the game, we saw Anthony Davis attacking the paint. He had 10 quick points. It was looking good. If it wasn't for Anthony Davis, the game wouldn't have been close. But they would have been blown them out. If that was the case. If it wasn't for Anthony Davis, this game would have been over in the first quarter. So I'm seeing Anthony Davis attacking the paint. He's back to the basket. It's pick and rolls. Looked amazing out there. But then the lineup with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook came out on the court. And then in that lineup, Anthony Davis was just sitting at the three-point line. Sitting on the three-point line, free throw extended, and he was just chucking jump shot after jump shot after jump shot. The only time I think I seen him shoot an inside shot was on a fast break, and that's about it. And that's what's going to happen with the Lakers this season. We have two non-shooters like LeBron James, who thinks he's a shooter for some reason, shooting 10 threes. But hey, when you have non-shooters like LeBron James and Russell Westbrook handling the ball, you're going to need space. You're going to have people out there on the at the free throw extended or sitting in the corner waiting to get the ball to shoot the three. But I feel like that's not their best basketball. I feel like their best basketball is Anthony Davis in the paint, back to the basket, elbow jumper. He can knock those down. Anthony Davis sitting at the 3-point line, you're basically playing 4-on-5 at that point. Now, I'm not saying Anthony Davis is or I'm not even saying he's a bad 3-point shooter, but that's not where his game is the most valuable. The game is most valuable inside around the 15 feet mark. That's where you're going to get your best Anthony Davis. Not 20, 25 feet out. Not chilling in the corner waiting for LeBron to pass him the ball off of a drive. Not sitting in the corner waiting for Russell Westbrook to pass him the ball on a drive. Give him the ball. He is the best player on the team. Why are y'all running away from him? LeBron's old. Westbrook's old. Give your young guy, give your all-star, give him the ball and let him go to work. I hate to say this. I really hate to say this, but I'm going to take my glasses off. LeBron's looking old. I hate to say it. But LeBron is looking old. It was multiple times, and I mean multiple times during that game, where I seen LeBron on Kevon Looney. And I see him try to get that quick first step. But Kevon Looney right there. Boom. And I guess, it is Kevon Looney, so he's a really good defender. But seeing how slow LeBron was playing out there today, seeing him take 10 threes, that's all signs of Father Time catching up to him. And I didn't think we were going to see it that fast in this season. But I don't want to overreact because, again, this is the first game. They're going against a team who fresh off of a championship. Best team in the NBA damn near. So it's like, I don't want to overreact, but just seeing how he couldn't even get past Kevon Looney, how he couldn't get past Andrew Wiggins anymore. Last time Andrew Wiggins defended LeBron, I think he went for like somewhere, he scored a lot. I want to say he went for around like 50 points, but I'm not too sure. But just seeing him struggle to get past them and have to settle for three-pointers, and have to settle for mid-range jump shots, which he can hit, but not at an efficient rate. So that's Father Time catching up to LeBron. He did have that one crazy tomahawk dunk on a fast break. So Vince Carter was dunking at 40. So I don't want to hear this is his 20th year and look at what he's doing. It was a fast break dunk. it was great still, but fast break dunk, not contested. Of course, it's LeBron. He's 6'8". What? 6'8", 200. Stop it. But it does seem like LeBron is getting up there. Age is catching up to him. I hope it was just because they went against the Golden State Warriors, and we can see a little bit more of that LeBron that we saw last year. All right, now let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about. I'm not going to talk about Steph and Clay, and because we know what they're going to do. Clay had 18 points in 19 minutes. Steph went for 33 after only having probably like 14 points in the first half. He ended up having 33. Draymond was sucking LeBron off. So we already know about those three guys. But the two players that I want to talk about in specifics, let me stop. In specific is James Wiseman and Jordan Poole. Klay Thompson, he only played 18 minutes, so Jordan Poole took up a chunk, a majority of the playing time at the shooting guard position. And when he first came off the bench, he hit 2 threes off rip. First of all, great job by him. But he was in a James Wiseman, Jordan Poole pick and roll, and that was just constantly eating at the defense. I mean, back to back to back to back to back plays of just a Jordan Poole and James Wiseman pick and roll, and it is working to perfection. It is working to perfection. Like it's reminiscent of, I don't want to say it's reminiscent to Westbrook and Steven Adams, but that's how good they're looking on that pick and roll. Now I know that's a stretch. Westbrook and Steven Adams was a pick and roll in a league of his own, but it was looking that good and it was that effective just coming off the bench. And then Jordan Poole, we already know what we're going to get from Jordan Poole. He's a streaky shooter. You know, he can go off one night and be cold the next night, but he did his thing out there. But who I was really impressed with was James Wiseman. And not only was he a monster on the offensive glass and on the offensive end, his defense was phenomenal. That's a big presence where the Golden State Warriors lacked in these last couple of seasons. They really couldn't land on that good big man. They couldn't really land on that great interior defender. Yes, they had Draymond Green, but he's undersized. And that undersized stuff is not going to work forever. Especially when you're losing your athleticism, you're getting older. He got gray all in his beard. He's not going to be that interior defense that the Golden State Warriors have had these past couple years. So them getting James Wiseman and even Kuminga, even though he wasn't in the game that much, he wasn't really that effective throughout the game. But even Kuminga, that interior defense, those very athletic young guys that can come in and just help out on the defensive end. I feel like the Warriors are on track to repeat. Once again, this is the first game of the NBA season. We don't want to overreact, but what I've seen, it's looking good for the Warriors, and it's not looking so good for the Lakers. But hey, let me know down in the comment section what you think, and don't forget, brush your teeth at least 3 times a day.